Over the last couple of weeks, I've been on Twitter. I've been on my shows, Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, Locked on Browns in the Barbershop, and I've been coming with a lot of energy, a lot of passion, a lot of strong opinions about what the Cleveland Browns need to do in order to get to where they need to go, and that's where we all need to go, and that's hoisting that trophy. We're getting a lot of pushback in terms of, when I say we need to go out and get a receiver, they're like, come on, we don't need that guy. When I say, okay, we got to get this linebacker, oh, we good, we could draft one. And this came across my mind it is in order to explain it. It's a difference between being out on the campaign trail than actually governing. And I'll explain how that applies to the Cleveland Browns. But first, let's get to our sponsor for the day, Aura. This barbershop video is sponsored by Aura. Anyone can find anything on the internet, including your full legal name, your personal email, your home address, phone number, and even your relatives. This information is accessible because of dark brokers who profit by selling your information to robocallers, telemarketers, spammers, and anyone else that wants to learn about you. Everybody hates the scam likely calls. Everybody hates those calls in the middle of the day when people call you and you have no idea why they're doing it. That's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, Aura. Aura will identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf. They'll even opt you out of junk mail and telemarketing lists. As listeners and fans of the barbershop, you can use my link, aura.com/Garrett Bush, to try 2 weeks for free to see how many data brokers are sharing your information. Also linked in my description, or you can simply scan the QR code found here. One of the best features I love about Aura is that it monitors your emails and passwords to see if you were involved in any sort of data breaches and exposed on the dark web, and gives you recommendations on what to do. As you can see right here, some of my information did end up on the internet, but this is where Aura comes in to help you. Their app features a VPN password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and it also protects your devices from malware. Aura has almost every internet safety tool you'll ever need, all inside one app. Like most Americans, I'm out here moving and shaking trying to make it happen. So you don't have time to be sitting around wondering who's stealing your information, who's peeking in your finances, and who's looking to take your identity. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. If you sign up right now, Aura will give you a 2-week free trial with my link. You'll be shocked at how much of your private information Aura finds exposed over those 2 weeks. Once again, go to aura.com/Garrett Bush to start your free trial. Also linked below in my description, or simply scan the QR code. There's always this thing when we come up to elections. Everybody looks good during the campaign season, right? I'll give you an example, and this is non-political towards any particular group, Democrat, Republican, whatever the case may be. I'll just give you an example. Go back and take a look at either Barack Obama or Donald Trump in the last elections, from 2012 to 2016, even going back to 2008. One of the things that happened is you had two very charismatic leaders. Barack Obama is probably one of the best speakers that has ever lived. He's probably one of the best speakers because he has a way of communicating in a way that you can relate to him, even though you might not be from the same background. He has a way of putting things in layman's terms that everybody can understand it. He just seems like a guy that seems classy, never seems rattled, never seems flustered. So when he's talking, he's a person that always seems like he's in control of the situation. On the opposite end, Donald Trump, who is also one of the most charismatic people ever to walk the face of the earth, he gets by other ways. He's a guy who's defiant. He makes you feel like he's never lost at anything. Even when he loses, he projects those as wins. If you say he's bankrupt, he said any good businessman knows that you use other people's money to get things done, right? So he does it in a different way. He also does it because it's almost like he's trolling you. He's almost goading you into thinking a certain way. And he has the unique ability to be a rich male with a lot of things given to him, but he has the ability that the common man can see a common man in him. That's one of the most difficult things to do. You coming from a position of power, from wealth, to have someone who has come from the bottom identify with your rhetoric and what you're saying. So you have two different spectrums, two different political parties, but at the same time, they were very great, charismatic, and awesome on the campaign trail. However, both really got into trouble when they started to govern. You see, there's a difference between going on the campaign trail, because the campaign trail, the goal is just to get the presidency. The goal is to be in the White House. The goal is to obtain that level of power and to be the leader of the free world. But when you actually win, that's when the real job starts. Then you realize that you look at the budget and you look like, oh, wow, man, I didn't know we were this broke. You start to look at the different people and the factions in the country. You'll have a group of African Americans who voted for Barack Obama that thought that, hey, you should be giving us more than we're getting right now. Right? Then you got a group of people with Donald Trump that said, hey, I thought you was going to get us the wall. I thought you was going to get us some of the things you campaigned on. We haven't seen those. And what every president finally realizes and gets to is that you're governing everyone, not just your base. You're governing the American people, not just the people who voted for you, but the people who didn't vote for you. And governing is the true measure of how great you are. Did you do enough for the common people in general, everyone, not just a specific group of people? And that's who history talks about. That's who history anoints as great presidents, Republican, Democrat, or independent, anywhere in between, conservative, liberal, all of that. We talk about governing. And you say, G.Bush, once again, what you doing over here? You're giving us a political lesson. We know that. What does it got to do with the Cleveland Browns and free agency? Well, let me tell you this. It's a difference between trying to grow and get to a point to gain some respect. It's a difference between trying to grow a culture in an organization than it is to live in that culture and then understand and take those expectations from a team that looks and wants to go to a Super Bowl. And so all our lives, my life, I'm 41 years old. For the majority of my purely adult life, the Cleveland Browns have been on the other side. They've always been looking for a franchise quarterback. They've always been looking to get a coach to bring some sort of discipline and stability. We've been looking for general managers that can scout, that can retain players, but can find the players that can turn them into C players to B players, B players to A players. We've been looking for that. And when you're in that stage, that's the fun stage, because it's the growth stage. It's the stage where, you got that excitement of watching a quarterback in 2 years and looking at his great stuff and figuring out whether he's a franchise quarterback. We did that with Baker. It's fun accumulating draft picks and getting all those picks and having multiple first-round picks in the first round to say I could go get a guy in the two picks in the first round. I got a lot of capital. I got 2 twos. I may got another third in the next year. See, those picks are exponential, because every pick you have in your mind, the sky's the limit. Because you think every third round guy that's going to come in, guess what? That person could be hit. That person could be an all-pro. That could be the next great player for the Browns. So when you are accumulating assets, when you are trying to get to a certain place, when you're doing the evaluation steps, all of those things, even though they're painstaking and some of them come with losing and different things like that, it's generally fun, because you're growing and you're seeing it in real time. You're seeing the fruits of your labor. You get to prognosticate. You get to envision your guys doing their thing. But for the Cleveland Browns, the angst and all of the other stuff that I'm receiving pushback from, in terms of going out and hey, we need to get Judy. We need to get Brandon Cooks. Hey, can we go get OBJ? Hey, let's go ahead and take a look at Bobby Wagner. Let's take a look at some of these guys. Deron Payne, Hargraves, all those guys. Hey, let's look at those guys. The reason why I'm receiving a lot of pushback is because the fan base doesn't understand that you've transitioned from the growth period and the building it up and culture blocks and building all to now overnight you're in a different land. You're in a different area. You're in a different class as an organization. And you never really had time to feel the change. See, this thing in human nature is no humans love like change. Change is the biggest thing that you could ever go through. And you see smart, brilliant, successful people flame out because they can't take change. They've been making money the same way for years. They don't understand why she has to do it a new way. They've been communicating like this for years. Why all of a sudden I can't say that? We've been winning with a certain formula this whole time. Why should we change it up? You see, you don't go extinct over a short period of time. Heck, even the dinosaurs went extinct like that when the asteroid hit. Dinosaurs never had the time to gracefully bow out and just watch all the mammals take over through evolution. No. That's the way change happens. Usually change comes unexpectedly and hits you in the face and say, what you gonna do about it? And when that change comes, the real kings, the real geniuses, the real guys, you know what they start doing? They anticipate change. They embrace change. They actively seek to understand how things will change. And because if you can understand how you change things, you can then be ready to go because you already on another page. You already 3 years away from now. That's why Andy Reid is so good. He's good because he understands what the trends are 3 years from now. He ain't thinking about now. Say what you want about Kanye West. The reason why he's a great musician is because every single album, he comes with something different. He's in left field. You're like, wow, that sounds nothing like College Dropout. But guess what? He comes with that late registration. You're like, wow, late registration. That's a dark dang, man. He got really like political with that. He got really diamonds from Sierra Leone. I'm like, wow. Then he comes back with graduation. He's showing you, he's showing you that the level and the growth. Yeah, this is how I'm getting down. I was this guy, but I'm now I'm out here doing designer. But in between that, he showed you that he was going through some stuff in 808s and heartbreaks. Stripped down music, showing the pain from losing his mother, a pain from a relationship gone. Now, you can say whatever you want to about his political choices, because I don't agree with a lot of things he said, but his discography shows that geniuses look to the next level 3 years before, and they're not going to be liked. Some things they're going to say is going to be crazy. I'm sure they thought Moses was crazy when he made the ark, and he had to pound that thing out, and it was telling them it's about to rain, and they're in the middle of the summer. I'm like, Moses crazy over here. He keep trying to... excuse me, not Moses. Noah. Sorry. They probably thought Noah was crazy too. What is Noah doing? It's 97 degrees out here. He building that doggone boat. He been building, he been building that boat for 45 years. Noah done lost his mind. I feel sorry for his children. What he has his children working on that thing. We need to call Child Protective Services because Noah has his kid. They're not even going to school. They're just building a boat. So Noah was about 5 years ahead, right? So you say, bring it back again, G.Bush, you're rambling. You see, the Cleveland Browns went from trying to build to being there overnight. Because really, we're receiving the delayed consequences of what Deshaun Watson missing 11 games looks like today. Because last year, we only saw him for 6 games. So there was no really pressure on us to talk about anything. Why would there be pressure? They already gentlemanly punted on the season. They didn't get anybody last year. Everybody said it was a wash. But the only thing that people don't realize is, yeah, at one point in time, you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to understand. You're going to have to accept the switch has happened. You're no longer a team without a franchise quarterback. You got one. You're no longer a team that has a quarterback on a rookie pay scale that now you can spend all this money on all these other positions and not really care. You no longer get the satisfaction of watching your quarterback homegrown go from being a rookie all the way up to getting his max deal and showing and believing and growing with them and sharing their life. And no, you don't get that. See, that nice warm feeling, you've been robbed of that. So now you got a quarterback who didn't grow with you. You got a quarterback that came with some checkered rap sheet, but nonetheless is the franchise quarterback. And you are comfortable because you really don't know if it's going to work. You don't really know what you're going to get. You don't really know how this thing's going to work out. And you can't even really project anything, right? So last year, if he was playing, we would have been going through the same thing, questioning whether or not we should be paying these receivers, questioning whether or not do we need to get rid of somebody? Do we have enough pieces? How is this going to work? What is the offense going to look like? So it dawned on me, this is quite normal. I shouldn't be alarmed that people are quite anxious about this season and who we bring in or not, because guess what? We're governing now. This ain't the campaign. This ain't the campaign for, hey guys, watch my Cleveland Browns be out here and we're getting better. Watch my Cleveland Browns with these young guys and young roster. We're going to be great in 5 years. Now it's just watch the Cleveland Browns and be nervous because you don't know if they're going to be good or not. And you don't know if you want to spend the money. And you don't know if this is even going to, the experiment's going to work. It's a big difference between campaigning and governing. It's a big difference between a starter home and a finished mansion. Because when you got that finished mansion, you still got to put furniture in it. You still got to put electricity on it. That electric bill going to go up. That gas bill is going to go up. Anybody would know that if you have a mansion and you're paying a lot for the square footage, you'd be dumb to think you're going to pay the same in electric, the same in gas, the same in water, the same in sewage that you did when you was in that apartment. And the Cleveland Browns was in an apartment for years. We moving up like George Jefferson. Now we in the big leagues. Now we here. Now this is where other teams have been. You think I'm lying? Oh, you do? Let's go look at a dumpster fire team who we call garbage all the time. It's the Jets. They drafted Zach Wilson a couple of years ago. They drafted Sam Darnold a couple years before that, right? But the thing about the New York Jets is, in cities like that, in New York and Chicago and San Francisco and LA, there's no such thing as we're going to have a 7-year rebuild or a 35-year rebuild. The expectation level is, nah, we live in New York. We don't never get that off. So, yeah, you just had Zach Wilson. If Zach Wilson was here, we'd still be trying to consider whether or not to offer him a 5th year. Because guess what? He's the best they've had since Joe Namath, right? Is that what we're doing? He's the best they've had since Chad Pennington. No, guess what the Jets did? They swung for the fences. Because teams that have expectation levels can never gentlemen's punt on a season. The expectation is always there. You think Saleh is going to ride with Zach Wilson? He knows he got 1 year to get it done. So if he going out, I'm going to go out on top. Give me Aaron Rodgers. He might not be what he was, but I know what I got. And you ain't hear him talking about, well, we don't want to break up the young core. Well, I think he's a little eccentric. He's gonna, he's doing the sleep studies. He's sleeping in the dark. I don't think G.bush this is gonna work. We got the offense and we got the defensive rookie of the years. Why would we break up our core? Stop. Because we would do that here. We would overinflate everything we got. But those teams understand pressure. Even though they're not good, the Jets understand pressure. They understand expectation. They understand that just by who you are by default, just by who you have on your team, changes the scope and dynamics of your reality in the NFL. And guess what? Browns fans haven't woke up and realized that we moved into that place. They haven't woke up and realized that we're in a mansion and electricity bill might be $1,000. They might wake up in a place with 2 acres of land and all kind of gardens, and you got to have a professional gardener come in once a month to get everything, you keep it nice and trim, and that may be $800,000, $900,000. They don't understand that they got a Lamborghini out in the garage that come with the house, but you can't go around and put regular unleaded gas in it. See? You pay the cost to be the boss. And when Deshaun Watson pulled up, whether you like it or not, we no longer live in an apartment. We live in a mansion, a $230 million mansion to be exact. And some things are going to change around here. That goes for the speculation of who to go get, the speculation of coaches being let go, the speculation of whether or not the general manager is doing a good job, the speculation of fans saying, is this guy going to be good? Are we good? Was the trade worth it? All of that is part of the game because you've signified by going to get him that you are ready to be one of those teams that accept the responsibility, accept the scrutiny, and accept what it comes with it. And that is, you're in the dance. You might as well go dance while you're there. Don't sit on the wall. You got your nice tuxedo on and a hot date. You might want to go dance. So now that we are here with Deshaun Watson and we can understand where we are, you could quite understand where my passion comes from. Because it's not just me wanting every other player or no-name player or any player. I didn't create these rules. I'm just giving you the mirror to show you exactly what type of time it is. And that's why you come to this show. You come here because I don't have any ulterior motives. I don't have no irons in the fire. And I don't have nobody telling me what I can and can't say. So if I tell you something, you know I got the integrity, just like I did with Anthony Walker, to say I was wrong about that. But I also have the integrity to stand on my own when 99% of the people don't think like me. That's okay. It's okay. But one way or the other, you can't go back and look at many times I was just off the wall. I mean, my crystal ball be working sometimes. It just really do. And speaking of, why don't we talk about who I would get at receiver? Judy is out there. A lot of other cats is out there. I'll let you know this. It's more than one way to skin a cat. People who claim that big names is all people want, it's just falling for the trap. You can get it done with some no-name gangsters. I'll tell you what my plan will be coming up in the next video. But as for now, we want to thank you for dropping in on the barbershop. If you're new to the channel, hit the notification bell and hit the notification so you got it. If you're definitely a subscriber to the barbershop YouTube page, make sure you give me a comment, man. Make sure you give me a comment. Who do you want? Why do you think the Browns are being passive? Do you think they're being passive? Or do you think that they're on the right track? What do you think about my analogy between the government? Did you like it? You hate it? Whatever. Put it in the comment section below. And then finally, let's get to where you can find me at every single day. Locked On Browns podcast, me and Jeff Lloyd. I cover your team for the Cleveland Browns every single day, daily. Get that wherever you get your podcast. You can check me out every single Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 92.3 The Fan Cleveland, WKRK FM. You could download the Odyssey app. You can rewind my show up to 24 hours. Make sure you go ahead and do that. And as always, if you are on YouTube, the hottest show on YouTube, WKYC app, all the places you can find the ultimate Cleveland sports show every single day, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can sign up for a membership on that, get some of our content, some of our exclusive content we do in the overtime section as well. Make sure you guys check that out. Make sure you subscribe to that. You won't want to miss it. But as for me, you never know where I'm at. I'm on a roll a little bit. I got a couple of videos I'm going to drop. I'm got some other stuff I'm going to do. But you never know when I'm going to pop up. But the only way you're going to know how to know where I'm at is just listen for the Clippers. Peace.